What up, hustlers? Welcome back to another episode of Health Hustle Chronicles, where the grind meets growth in the world of healthcare. So today's a good one. I mean, listen, every week that I'm going to hit you with some good stuff. This week we're talking about betting on yourself, how to double down on your own potential. Some of the things we're going to tap in on is recognizing your own unique value, embracing the growth mindset, investing in your skills as well as your knowledge, taking calculated risk, setting clear, ambitious goals, silencing the doubt, both internal and external. And then there's a host of other things that we're going to talk about as well. All about that hustle and grind, help you get to that next level. But before we get too deep in this, you know what it is. We got to hit you with that intro. Let's get it going, hustlers. In the Health Hustle Chronicles, where the grind meets growth in the world of healthcare, this ain't your typical podcast. I'm here to shine light on the talent that's out there hustling every day. Introduce you to coaches who can level up your game and break down exactly how you can climb the ladder in this industry. Whether you're just stepping in or already in the trenches, I'm going to give you the real deal on how to elevate beyond the road and claim what's yours. I'm talking about unlocking opportunities that seem hidden, finding leadership when it feels like no one's got your back, and building a roadmap to success even when the path ain't clear. From time management to battling self-doubt, lack of mentorship, to the struggle of getting noticed. I get it. I've been there. And I'm going to bring you that hustle mindset with every episode, so you can take that next step towards career growth and wealth. If you're ready to go beyond surviving and start thriving in healthcare, then this podcast is for you. It's time to hustle harder, grow smarter, and elevate together. Let's get it, hustlers. Let's get it, hustlers. Let's get it. Again, that's an intro. I love that intro. It's all about setting that expectations for what we're about to get into. And again, thank you for joining. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Here we talk all about the hustle, getting you to that next level on your journey, whether you're an entrepreneur, just a full-time go-getter, or just all-around hustler. So welcome to the show. Today we're tapping in and we're talking about betting on yourself, how to double down on your own potential. So let's jump right into it. One, you want to recognize your own unique value, because betting on yourself starts with knowing and appreciating your own worth, identifying your unique skills, strengths, experiences that set you apart from everybody else. So here's the thing. A lot of us out here, we're hustling and we're like, man, I don't know where to start. I don't know where to go. First, you want to look inside. And before we get too deep in that, let's go ahead and take a sip. Oh, yeah, that's going to be good. And, as always, I got to drink the water, man. I got to have my red Solo cup to let you know we're locked in, man. We're all about this hustle. So recognizing your own unique value. When you're betting on yourself, you need to understand who you are. Like, what do you bring to the table? What's your different and better story? A lot of us, we like to compare ourselves to so many other people, right? And we're like, oh, well, Johnny, he can do this and he's so good at that. And then Patrick, he's over here, he's doing that and he's so good at that. You gotta tap into your own unique story, your own unique journey. Like what separates you from everybody else? And for me, like on that hustle game, what I realized is, man, I could talk to anybody. Like I really could. I could talk to anybody. So I was like, let me lean into this a little bit more and explore this a little bit more and allow it to help me elevate. So just in talking to people, I was able to start networking just through communication in my mouth and start positioning myself for greatness, for that next level of success. How I was able to do that is because I identified my unique skills, which was my ability to be able to communicate across the masses. It didn't matter if you came from no education to you was a physician at a medical practice. I didn't really care because I understood the hustle, understood the grind, understood people, also understood the motivation. So for me, it was just about tapping into that unique skill for me and then continue to put that out there. And if I put myself out there, then, good things could potentially happen. And so far it's been that thing for me as well. There's importance in self-reflection, okay? Because self-reflection helps you understand what you truly bring to the table. And sometimes, and I would say this, sometimes we don't spend enough time doing self-reflection. For me, I do self-reflection on a daily basis because I want to reaffirm to myself that I'm on the right path. I also want to look back at some of the challenges and setbacks that I have and reflect on how I could have done it differently. And would it have been easier if maybe I had a network or a mentor or a coach or whatnot that would help me get there? Those are the things that you think about when it comes to self-reflection. Ask yourself, do I have enough of what it takes within me to do it by myself? And if not, how can I surround myself with other people that can help me get to that next level? Like use my own unique skills that can help me get to the next level. So spend some time doing that self reflection. I think it's going to be so valuable for you as you continue to hustle towards that top. The next topic here is embracing a growth mindset. Embracing a growth mindset is believing that you can grow, learn, and improve by betting on yourself. Embracing a growth mindset is understanding failure is part of the journey. Having a growth mindset is understanding that, you know what, I actually can't wait till I hit the bottom. It's not like you're looking forward to hitting the bottom, but you know what, I know once I hit the bottom, that's when my growth actually begins, right? Because once I hit the bottom, now I have a couple of different choices. I either stay there at the bottom or I'm going to get back up, pull up my big boy pants. I'm going to get back up and then I'm going to work towards getting back up to the top. So that growth mindset is all about challenging yourself and getting outside your comfort zone, viewing failure as stepping stones for your success. That's the only thing growth mindset is. So when you hear people talk about, oh, you got to have a growth mindset, you have a growth mindset, you're not doing anything special. The only thing that you're doing is understanding that failure is part of my journey. Failure could be part of my success. So you want to lean into it. You want to embrace that struggle because that struggle is going to help build resiliency for you. And it's going to help put your mind in that growth mindset state. So it that's definitely something that you want to continue to work on. You want to stay open to change, learn from your mistakes, and continuously seek improvement. That's so important right there. The big part right there is continuously seeking improvement. If you're not looking for improvement day in, day out, then your hustle is gonna plateau. And then when it plateaus, you're no longer gonna grow past that anymore. So that growth mindset means, hey, let's learn from our mistakes. Allow me to continue to seek improvement and be open to change. Because sometimes we just gotta pivot. Like what we were doing before, it just wasn't working. So we did the pivot, we learned from it, and now we're still on the hustle. Our vision is still big as all get out. But the way we're going to go about accomplishing that has changed. So let's sip to that. Sip to you. Here's something that I want you to do. I want you to invest in your skills as well as your knowledge. So betting on yourself meaning really investing in your skills, helping you level up. You want to prioritize education, training, personal development, anything that's going to align with your goals. That's part of betting on yourself. You can't just, maybe you can, but it depends on your hustle. Don't just go out here and say, okay, I attended this webinar and I got enough insight from this webinar, so I'm going to get back to the hustle and grind. And then nothing ever materializes from that. Because investing in yourself is an ongoing thing. It may be, I'm doing it daily. It may be on a weekly basis. It may be on a monthly basis. Or it may be, biannually, I'm going to do this and that, and it's going to help me get to that next level. But you have to continue to invest in you, hustlers. You really have to. Because those skills and knowledge is going to be the separator between all the other hustlers and what you're doing. Also want you to take calculated risk. And when you're taking calculated risk, it's about getting outside your comfort zone. So listen here. This is what I see a lot of hustlers doing. They're out there hustling each and every day, right? They're hustling, they're grinding. But what happens is you've hustled so much or you're so used to your hustle that you're no longer uncomfortable. Yeah, you're thinking, okay, but I'm hustling. I'm out here, I'm making moves and, I'm doing this, that, and the other. But you're still comfortable in that hustle. If you're still comfortable on a daily basis, then your hustle is plateaued. I guarantee you're not growing. I can almost guarantee you're not growing. So go back and look at your hustle and say, what have I done to make me uncomfortable? What risk am I taking? Don't shy away from risk. You want to lean into the risk. I mean, obviously they're calculated risks, but you want to lean into those risks because in those risks come those opportunities. In those risks is where you stretch yourself. In those risks is where you understand the hustle game is more than where I am today. It's about where I want to be tomorrow. And it's going to take really calculated risk to help me get there. Consider the benefits of taking a calculated risk because you don't have all the answers today. If you had all the answers, you and I, we wouldn't be sitting here at this podcast, having this discussion, right? We're looking for these answers. What are those answers that we're looking for? Sometimes betting on yourself means risking your comfort for your potential growth. So Some of the best hustlers that you ever know, that's all they ever did is put themselves out there, kept on putting them. I mean, you know, people, y'all tap in and let me know. It could be in your own household. People that continue to take calculated risk, and now they're at a level that 2, 3, 5 years ago they were never at, right? So that's what those calculated risk is about. I also want you to set clear, ambitious goals. Having a clear vision of where you're headed makes it easier for you to bet on yourself and take those intentional steps forward. I'll read that again. Having a clear vision of where you're headed makes it easier to bet on yourself and take intentional steps forward. So having a clear vision, we talk about, you know, you've heard this before, specific, actionable, ambitious goals, things that's going to help you build momentum. Start with, you know, what your vision is. Like, this is my end goal. This is what I really want to accomplish, right? So I want to have a 2-story house, a 3-car garage, and 2 brand new cars in my driveway. That's my vision that I have for myself. What's the baby steps to get there? How am I going to achieve that? So if I look at myself and I say, okay, my career's here, I want it to be here. My income is here, but I want it to be here. And if my income gets to, if I can increase my income 20, 30, 40%, that's going to help me achieve the income that I need. That's going to help me buy that house and also get those vehicles that I wanted to get to. Well, how do I go about getting that? First thing step, I got my big goal. So I want the house. I want the 3-car garage. I want the 2 brand new cars. But I have to get there. And how to get there is, okay, I need to increase my income. How much are we going to increase our income by? Just don't say I want to increase my income. You need to put a measurable, specific goal on. I want to increase my income by 20, 30, 40%. Okay, great. That's a start. And what time frame now do we want to do it? Well, I want to do that over the next 1 to 3 years. Okay, perfect. So now we got the big goal. Now we have a small goal, which is, you know, I want to increase my income 20, 30, 40%. And now I want to do it over the next 3 years. Okay, perfect. So now if I'm going to do it over the next 3 years, let's break that down. What can I do today? What can I do this week? What can I do this month, next month? What can I do this year that's going to help me get there? Okay, so if I want to increase my income 20, 30, 40%, where am I lacking in those potential skills? Maybe I need to attend webinars about leadership. Maybe I need to actually take coursework and better in my management skills. Maybe I actually need to go back to college to get that education, because that's the separator between me getting that job and not getting that job. Those are things that you have to think about, like those small baby things is going to help you get there, right? And then from there, you start just backing into, you take those actionable steps that's going to back into helping you achieve this big vision of yourself. And now that's very material right there. I was talking about a house. It's talking about 3-car garage and you know, 2 vehicles. Others for us, like, I want to start my business. Others, I just want to get promoted to the next level. Others, I just want to be seen within my own office. Whatever your goal or vision is that you have for yourself, you can back into that. But don't start trying to eat the whole elephant today. You can't do that, hustlers. We gotta we're gonna nibble away at the elephant's ankle. I'm gonna chew the hell out of that elephant until I get up into, you know, his trunk. And then, you know what? I'm sorry, elephant, but I'm getting it. I'm hustling. Poor elephant. We're not listening. I'm not advocating for eating elephants. It's just an analogy. So I don't want you guys blasting me. You're like, well, Patrick told me I need to eat elephants. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, in order to eat an elephant, you got to start small. You just can't eat it in one bite. So you understand that, hustlers. Let's take a sip to you as we transition to the next topic. So the next thing is silence and doubt, both internally and externally. Listen, you need to understand, doubt is part of every journey, whether it comes from within or from those around you. So how to deal with self-doubt is to remind you that you're not the only one. Everybody deals with self-doubt. Listen, hustlers, I've been in this hustle game for a long time, and I can say almost weekly, self-doubt kind of creeps in, right? It appears, but I'm not the one that allow it to fester, get in my face, and stay there. Self-doubt comes like this. Guess what? I'm hitting that out the way, because self-doubt is always going to be there, but it's what you do when you're faced with self-doubt. A lot of us, the self-doubt that shows up is, okay, am I going to have the stamina to see through my vision? Am I going to have the energy to see through my vision? Am I going to be able to secure the right resources to see through my vision? Financially, am I positioned to help me see through my vision? And am I getting the support of other people that's going to help me see through my vision? All these are like self-doubt triggers that happen to you and I. Like, that's part of the journey. So the minute you start to embrace that self-doubt is actually part of the game, is part of the hustle game, that's going to already put you in that growth mindset to allow you to say, you know what, I can do this. Because other people have done this as well. Self-doubt is part of the game. You got to understand it. And sometimes, we get in these circles, or we have these groups of people that we're around, and they continue to challenge you or go against your belief, and they help you create this additional self-doubt. Sometimes we call these people haters, right? Listen, let me this is what I want you to embrace. I want you to hate. No, I don't want you to hate. I want you to embrace when other people doubt you. Why do I want you to do that? Because that's fuel for the fire. That's the additional motivation. You already had this vision to begin with, right? Now someone out there saying, you know what, Patrick, you ain't gonna be able to do that. Use that as motivation to help you get to here. Like, it really, really can. Here's the other thing about when people doubt you or they hate on you, is they actually provide you with additional knowledge and insight of things you may have not considered before. So your vision is here, and then people come in and say, well, you can't get there without doing this. You're thinking, man, wow, I never really thought about that, but I am probably going to need that, right? Or you can't do that if you ain't connected with this person. And you're like, well, you know what? I never really considered that. So naysayers, those haters out there, they actually help open up they challenge you to be the best version of yourself. They challenge you to make sure that your vision is clear. They challenge you to make sure you have the proper steps in place that's going to help you get to the next level. So don't view naysayers and haters as these people that are actually against you. View them as people that are helping inspire you to make sure you're checking all the boxes. This doesn't mean deviate away from your vision. Your vision is what it is, but we do know there's going to be steps along the way, and there's going to be different paths that we need to take. There's going to be obstacles that we need to jump over, and there's going to be people that we need to connect with. And those naysayers and those haters generally point you in the right direction if you take the feedback as positive and not negative, right? So I think that's important to share with you. I also want to help you cultivate discipline and consistency. Success doesn't happen overnight. We all know this at this point. And if you don't know this and you're new to the channel, I'm going to tell you, success doesn't happen overnight. We all know success often takes many different lines. Sometimes you're going to go up a hill. A lot of times you're going to come down a hill. Sometimes you're going to go around the corner. Other times you're going to go through the freaking house. And then sometimes you ended up being successful because you took this long journey to get there. That's life. That is life, hustlers. Get used to that. Betting on yourselves means showing up consistently, even when motivation fades. Betting on yourself is an internal struggle. Betting on yourself is an everyday hustle. Betting on yourself is making sure you have the right discipline as well as consistency day in, day out. This is where you want to set up your routine for what your hustle looks like, but then every so often you got to challenge yourself to get outside that routine. Now, it's important. You heard me share this before. You have to get outside your comfort zone, right? But before you get outside your comfort zone, you got to have a routine of what that hustle looks like. These small things that I'm going to do every day. So maybe it is, I'm going to get up an additional 30 minutes today, and I'm going to spend some time on some coursework, because I understand this coursework is going to help me better understand what I should be doing next, right? Or maybe your vision is, I want to lose 50 pounds here in 2024, 2025. Well, how are we going to actually do that? Well, one, I feel like I need some more protein in my diet. So I'm going to go get me some protein packs, and I'm going to implement that. Two, I'm actually going to start walking at the end of the day, and I'm going to start with half a mile. And then I'm going to increase that to a mile, and then hopefully I can get to walking 2 miles a day. Same thing with your career. Okay. So today, I'm sitting here and I have little education, but I know education is going to help me get to the next level. So I'm going to take a course in leadership, right? Or I'm going to take a course in management, or I'm going to roll in the community college, or I'm going to roll in an online college, and I'm going to start there and allow that to continue to build my brain with insight and knowledge that I know I'm going to need that's going to help me get to the next level. And then be consistent in your hustle. Hustle daily. Don't we don't want to take these long extended breaks away from the hustle, because if you do, starting back up is hard. We've had those New Year resolutions, right? Every beginning of every year, I'm going to lose weight. Every beginning of the year, I'm going to get in shape. The beginning of every year, I'm going to strengthen my relationships amongst my family, whatever that is. And you started in the beginning of the year, but you don't actually see it through to the whole end of the year. Why is that? Because we wasn't disciplined. We wasn't consistent about what that hustle meant to us. This is where you would like to, you need to do that, implement that in your hustle. Be consistent, cultivate that discipline, and then make sure you have that consistency. Let's drink to that. Drink to you, hustlers. Hey, you want to build a strong support network? Because betting on yourself doesn't mean to do it alone. I said it again. Betting on yourself doesn't mean doing it alone. You have to surround yourself with people who encourage you, motivate you, and challenge you to reach your new levels. Sometimes that encouragement and challenge comes from within. Sometimes it comes from your closest people around you. It can be your spouse, significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever that person happens to be. And if you're in one of those fruitful relationships where y'all understand each other's vision, those people are not going to allow you to fail. They're going to hold you accountable for your particular vision. If you shared your vision with someone and they really respect and love you and want your vision to actually come to fruition, they're going to hold you accountable for that. But they're also going to continue to encourage you. They're going to give you those positive affirmations that you're looking for and saying, hey, Patrick, you can do this. I believe in you. I believe in your vision. And at that, you use that smallest bit of encouragement, smallest bit of motivation to allow your hustle to continue to be fueled. It doesn't take much. If you're looking for a lot of fuel to come your way to ignite your fire, then this hustle is probably not for you. So I'm going to go out on record and say this hustle is probably not for you in that effort, because we're already mentally not committed to the vision and seeing it through. You shouldn't need a whole lot of motivation. You just need a little bit of motivation to help you get to that next level. So surround yourself with people who encourage, motivate, and challenge you. And it's important. It's important to find mentors, friends, and like-minded individuals who believe in your journey. Because we all said, like you've heard this before, one bad apple spoils it for everybody, right? It's true. If you place yourself in a bucket full of bad apples, what's going to happen to you? You just throw yourself in a bucket full of bad apples. What's going to happen to you? You eventually are going to become a bad apple. So remove yourself from that situation and find those mentors, find those friends, find those like-minded individuals who believe in your vision. Those people will continue to provide you with enough motivation and support that would allow you the energy that you need to continue to elevate and move this way. It's so important. If I want to be a millionaire over the next 5 years, guess what I'm doing? I'm finding where the millionaires hang out with. Maybe it's a friend group. Maybe it's an online chat room. I want to tap into their insight and knowledge. I want to understand what their thought process is about how to obtain wealth, how to elevate and move forward, how to influence and impact the next generation of people. If that's what your hustle is. If I want to be a race car driver, well, what do you need to do to be a race car driver? Are there schools that I need to go to? Or is there a local track that, there's sponsors that are there that maybe I can bend someone's ear and they can help provide me insight into what that journey to becoming a race car driver looks like? Those are things that you need to do. It's about that continued investment in yourself so we can get to that next level. I also want you to learn from failure without losing momentum, right? So this is getting back to that growth mindset, because betting on yourself means embracing failure and learning as a learning tool rather than a stopping point. The minute failure happens for most of us, we reach failure like boom, and now I'm ready to quit. Like dude, that hurt. Like I wasn't expecting that, and it just didn't feel good. And then a lot of us, we just stop right there in that moment, and and it's over. The game is over. That's when the game begins. In fact, I would say this: your hustle game, your hustle journey doesn't even begin until you've hit some type of roadblock. That roadblock, a lot of us see it as failure, but all it is just a learning moment. It's a moment for us to move past that particular obstacle. That's part of the journey. Let's say you're running track, right? And you're running hurdles. If you're going to get to the end of the finish line, there's a lot of hurdles that we need to jump. There's a lot of them. There's probably, man, I don't know. There's probably like 20, 30 hurdles that we need to jump if we're running that 400-meter race, right? So I'm trying to get there, but I know there's like 20 hurdles that I need to jump. Well, how are we going to get to the end? We first have to jump the first hurdle, and then you're going to get to that first hurdle. You're like, well, wow, that jump is that's higher than what I thought. So now I'm going back and I'm working on my spring skills. I'm like, okay, I got to get my form right because that first hurdle, I hit it with my front toe, fell on my face. Guess what? You learn from that. You learn that I can't jump at that same height and intensity that I did before. I actually have to elevate. I have to get beyond that hurdle, right? I have to change my form. And how am I going to do that? Well, I don't know how to jump hurdles, so I'm going to go get me a coach that can teach me and train me on how to jump those hurdles. And now what that coach has taught you is that form. Now you got form. That failure ended up becoming an opportunity for you to learn something new. What you learn now is how to jump a hurdle. And that's the analogy of life. That's the analogy of the hustle game. Anything that you're trying to accomplish, you have to go out there and fail. So I understand, where did I fall short? Then I want to connect myself with some resources or some insight that's going to help me understand why I wasn't able to accomplish that, right? And now I can move forward, right? So listen, you want to learn from that, but don't let it stop you. The minute we fall down, we have to get back up just as quick as we fell back down. Yeah, you can take a second to reflect, right? You can take a second to revisit your vision. You can take a step to reflect on the goals and the actual steps that you have in place. But that reflection doesn't last all day. That reflection doesn't last all week. That reflection doesn't last all month. That reflection doesn't last all year. It's a moment of time. I'm looking back, I'm reflecting. Now I'm going back and recalculating what I should have done or what I can be doing so I can get to the next level. Here's a big one here, and a lot of us struggle here. Celebrating our small wins. Man, this hustle game is a journey. I'm gonna drink to this one. This hustle game is a journey. And being that it's a journey, we should mentally lock in and for ourselves. You know, if our vision is so big, we should mentally lock in and say, okay, over the next 5 years, this is what I want to accomplish, whatever your time frame is. But you want to give a grace period. Over the next 5 years, this is what I want to accomplish. And as you're trying to navigate towards that, we all know that we're going to hit the ground. We're going to face failure. There's going to be those obstacles that we're going to need to jump over. There's going to be, some coaches that may need to come into play that's going to help me, build and develop my form. Then there's going to be those networking opportunities where I'm surrounding myself with people that's going to help me understand or continue to motivate me because they're actually doing the things that I would like to do, or they're doing the things or achieving things in life that I want to achieve. And you're going to fall short a lot of times. So it's important to take the time to celebrate the smallest of smallest wins. So for me, I create content. I have a podcast, I have a newsletter, I have a business, that I'm running. I have a clothing line. I have all this. And I invest a lot of time behind the scenes on working on designs, working on copyright, working on video editing, working on spotlighting leaders, like yourself around there in my newsletters and things like that. And it's very frustrating, but it's part of the grind. It's part of the journey for me, right? So what I like to do is the smallest of things. Hey, I reached out to somebody today on LinkedIn and asked them for a collaboration. That's the only thing that I did. I'm celebrating that. Like at the end of the day, I'm celebrating that. Hey, listen, I reached out to 15 people today and asking for a collaboration. I'm going to celebrate those smallest of them. Did I accomplish anything? No, I'm not. There's no one-on-one. No one raised their hand and said, yes, I'm interested, Patrick, in joining your newsletter. But I want to celebrate the smallest of smallest wins that I actually took an actionable step that's going to help me achieve the outcome that I've been able to achieve. And for that reason, my newsletter has grown over and over and over. with in 2 months, I have thousands of people that have signed up for the newsletter. Why is that? Because the smallest things I'm celebrating it and refocusing on helping my understand, developing my growth mindset, helping me understand this is part of the journey. So if part of the journey is going to require, these no's, me doing some business development, things like that, I have to celebrate the smallest of small. So find whatever it is that's going to help you celebrate your smallest victories. Again, you could came just back from a networking conference. Part of my goal was to meet 20 people. Well, only met 10. Well, let's go back and celebrate. I met 10 people. Like that's 10 more than I met before I came. You see what I'm saying? So I want to celebrate that. You want to reflect on that, provide yourself that positive momentum and affirmation that you need, even when others are not giving it to you, that you need so we can continue that hustle to move forward. And if you're not celebrating, your progress often gets stagnant, for real. Um, but if you are celebrating, what you're going to get out of this, it's going to help you build that confidence. It's going to keep you motivated, and it's going to keep you focused on your long-term goals. So it's so important that you continue to celebrate your wins along the way. I want you to do this, hustlers. Visualize your success and believe in the outcome. A lot of us get stuck here. We'll write something down, right? And we say, okay, I got it written down. All the coaches tell me I need to write down my vision. So you got it written down. All right, great. Kudos to you. That's your small win. We want to go celebrate that, right? But a lot of us, we don't spend enough time visualizing what success looks like. And a lot of people don't really talk about this. So I'm going to talk about this. When you visualize your success, you don't just write it down, but you take some time to actually see yourself at the finish line. You live through your own vision. So in the next 5 years, again, I want to have that 2-story house. I want a 3-car garage, and I want 2 brand new vehicles in here, right? And we talked about those actionable steps that you're going to get there. But now I'm going to take some time throughout that day. You have to do this. Take some time throughout that day. Close your eyes, meditate, whatever you want to do. Visualize what that success looked like for you. Visualize how other people around you actually feel when you hit your goal. Visualize how you feel when you actually achieve the level of success that you were looking for. Take some time to do this. Sometimes this is just as important as those actionable steps. Now, I'm not saying shy away from action at all, because action is the fruit of overcoming fear. If you want to overcome fear, you actually have to get going. A lot of people will, how do I get going? You start. Simple as that. Well, that sounds easier said than done. It does sound easier said than done, but it actually is easy if you just start. What does that mean? I don't know. I'm creating one piece of content today and I'm putting it out there. Or actually, I'm attending one webinar and I actually did that and I sat through it for 30 minutes to an hour, right? So that's actually you getting started. But visualizing success is I spent 30 minutes on a webinar, doing this because I know it's going to help me get to here. I'm also going to take 30 minutes to myself to continue to visualize what my success looks like from here. That's important for you. If you haven't taken time to visualize what your success looked like, this could be something that I would tell you to add to your arsenals of tools. Visualization is key because it's going to help strengthen your vision. It's going to help strengthen your actionable steps. It's going to help you overcome fear. It's going to help give you clarity so we can continue to hustle to move forward. And then, last topic here is trust your instincts and listen to your inner voice. There's nothing like listening to yourself. No one knows your potential better than you. So you want to trust your intuition and allow it to guide you in making decisions that align with your vision. Trusting yourself and following your instincts, even if it means going against the grain and making unconventional choices, that's probably something that you may need to add to your hustle. Listening to your inner voice. You ever, and I'm sure, raise your hand, you can tap in, drop some comments and let me know. You ever had a thought and then you didn't follow your thought? And so what you ended up doing is something totally different than what you were thinking about before. And then the outcome wasn't what you wanted it to be. And then you go back and be like, man, I should have listened to myself. I should have listened to my first thought. I should have actually did that. It happens to all of us, right? Because that's that inner voice telling you, Patrick, we can hustle better if we do this. We can achieve this outcome if we do this. That's that inner voice talking to you. Some of us, we got to reconnect with ourselves, get in touch with ourselves, get back in tune with ourselves. What are we telling ourselves? And if we're telling ourselves that, there's a good chance we can achieve that. If you want to overcome fear, your inner self is telling you, this is my vision. I want to accomplish this, right? And then there's part of you, or maybe it's people around you that's saying, you know what, you're not going to accomplish that. So we listen to that person, and that person influences us, as opposed to listening to your inner self. Trusting yourself and following your instincts, even if it means going against the grain, is making unconventional choices. This is where we're getting outside of our comfort zone. This is where we're hustling towards an outcome. This is where I'm using my inner voice to motivate me, to encourage me, to inspire me to keep pushing forward. Listening to your inner voice helps you stay true to yourself, which is essential on betting on your path as well as your journey. So, this topic today was designed to inspire and empower you to take charge of your own potential and make conscious choices to and believe in yourself fully. If you're able to do that, listen, you can get to that next level of the hustle. So before we get out of here, let's go ahead and wrap this up. That wraps up this episode of Health Hustle Chronicles, where we don't just talk about the grind, we live it. If you're ready to take your career to that next level, now's the time to put in the work. Remember, elevation, it doesn't come easy, but it's all about staying hungry, staying focused, and hustling smart. The knowledge is here. The tools, they're all yours. Now it's up to you to make the moves. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next drop. If today's episode hit home, share it with somebody else that's on that grind. Together we rise. Until next time, stay hustling, stay learning, and remember, your next level might just be one hustle away. Let's get it, hustlers.